Hello friend, in this tutorial we are going to learn how to implement a convolutional neural network in TensorFlow. After this session, anyone who is watching this video is able to implement convolutional neural network CNN in TensorFlow. So first, import TensorFlow as TF. Make sure in my computer the TensorFlow version 1.15 is present. So if you are working with TensorFlow 2.0, you may face some kind of dependency problem. But as per of this video sake, so you will not get any problem. Then import NumPy as NP. Then we need to import the data set which is available in TensorFlow. Okay, here you need to put in. So we need the package, so better from. Okay, it will execute. It will take some time. Okay, done. We need to import data from the internet. For that, we need to execute this following code, and this will store the data with a particular folder mnist_data in our drive. Okay, now execute this line of code. So it is extracting, yes. So now the data is extracted and it is stored. So if you going to check this thing, let's go here. So you can check here. So already a folder is created in my current working directory. If I will go inside this folder, I can find the following downloaded file. Here same thing is written here. You can see here same thing is written here. All those 4 is downloaded from the internet, and in this data set everything is in a proper format. If you gonna want to see what are the thing available, then you can see here the data set contain train set, also validation set, all test set. So every data set is, so the MNIST data set is properly maintained and each set is separated accordingly. If I want to go inside this train data set, then I am going to here train. You can see here the data set. Oh, so here nothing to see actually. Then to see this we need to go to the particular TensorFlow site. So no need to go there. We can see here. I can see here. So if I am going to print this thing, okay. So here everything in a object form. So if I am going to check what are the, suppose I am, so images is the X and Y is the target is the label. So images is the input value and Y is the, and target are the, and the labels are the target value. So here if I am going to execute this line save, you can see here total 55,784. If same thing I am going to see against the labels, so I can copy here and paste here, and in case of image, here I want to put the labels. Okay, now you can see. So total 10 label are there, sorry, total 10 different label are there, and total number of data set is 55,000. And this is 10 because we have already 100 encoded, because the labels are from 0 to 9, so total 10 value. If we make them 100 encoded, so target value become the size of 10, and total input size shape is 55,000. That means we are having 55,000 instance. Okay, so input feature shape is 784 and output feature are 10. and total 55,000 data value or data point. So before going to design the graph of CNN or convolutional neural network, let's define its learning rate and epoch and batch size. So I am here taking learning rate is 0.0001 and epochs is 10 epochs and batch size is 50. No, just make it a little bit less. Suppose 2 epoch, because it will take. We are not going to maximize our accuracy. We just need to execute a code and to make you understand how the things are actually happening. So better epoch 2 is sufficient. Okay, so now this thing is decided. Then how this 784 actually coming? Let's go to here. I am going to explain. So x means it is 784. So this will it is a 784 column vector. But how this thing actually happen? Because each image in MNIST data set having 28 row and 28 column. So total how many pixels are there? So total 28 into 28, total 784 pixels are available. So we just make each and flatten this matrix form and change it to 784. But for convolution we need this kind of matrix form. So it is required to convert this 784 or 784 dimensional vector to 28 cross 28. Okay, because we need to convolute a filter over this matrix, so we need to convert this 784 dimension to 28 cross 28, so that it will we will create a filter and we will convolute this filter over the entire 28 cross 28 pixel. So we need to do that. To do this thing, we need to create x placeholder for x, that means your input, and for y, which is your label value or output value. So you already know what is placeholder. So it is imagined simply as a memory unit. So simply memory unit which is reserved for future use. So here I am creating a placeholder for x, which is of 784 dimension, and placeholder of y, which is a 10 dimension, and we are changing this 784 to 28 cross 28 pixel value. That means it will create a matrix. Again it is a it will become 3 dimension, 28 cross 28 cross 1. So it will become 3 dimensional. And the -1, it will tell that function that you can change it to dynamically. So it will tell function to depending upon input you can change the shape of the input. Okay, this is only, so -1 is only for that. Okay, now this thing are, so we have already created the placeholder. Now the placeholder are created. Okay, then here I am copied some code. This function is basically help to create a new convolutional layer. So just I just want to minimize something, because if I go for control minus, it will actually stop my video. So I am minimizing this thing from here. So now you can see here, this is the function which will help us to create new layer. Okay, this will take input data and the number of input channel and number of filter, how many filter shape and pool shape name, and accordingly it will return the output layer. Okay, and using this function I am creating two layer here. Layer 1 which is having input size is accept. So accept is, we have already decided what is the shape of x. The shape of x is accept is equal to 828 28 cross 1. That means channel is 1. So first was input data and second one is the number of input channels. So first one is input data. What is the input data shape? Input data is equal to accept. Okay, and then the second one is your number of input channel, it is 1. Then now how many number of filter you are using? We are using 32 filter. Okay. Then the filter shape is, it is a 5x5 filter. Then pool shape 2x2 pooling is used here, and the name of layer is, so here I am in layer 1. Similarly I am creating a second layer 2 by using the same create new convolution layer, and it is a layer 1. So it will take the input as the output of layer 1, output layer 1, and then it will go for the input channel. So input number of channel is 32, because this is the channel output of layer 1, and then I am going to use number of filters 64 filter, and again the filter size is 5x5 and pooling size is 2x2. Okay, so in this way I am creating two different layer. Okay, let's zoom something, zoom somehow. Okay, this much is sufficient. Now the layer 1 layer 2 is created. Here you can see, while defining a function create new convolutor, the padding, I am taking the padding as same. So if the input is 20 cross 20, so 28 cross 28, then after convoluting with the first layer, it will become 20. So 28 cross 28, padding same, and convolute by this 5 cross 5, it will generate a 28 cross 28 matrix. Then when pooling we are using 2 cross 2, so the output matrix will become 32 channel and 14 cross 14 matrix. Okay. Similarly, when we are padding same, if we are convolute the 5 cross 5 with over this 14 cross 14, it will become same, it will remain 14 cross 14. But what we will do? But while we are pooling with 2 cross 2, it will become 7 cross 7. So total matrix size become 64 7 cross 7. So the output of the layer 2 become 64 cross 7 cross 7. But we need to change to some different format. So I am flattening this thing and reshaping the 7 cross 7 cross 64. So actually sorry, this will become 7 cross 7 cross 64, and we need to flatten all those things by using the tf dot reshape. And one more thing you need to remember here, while we are defining a layer, we are taking ReLU as our activation function, and we are here we are already decided already initialized our weight and bias. Okay, so this thing need to remember, because we already decided the weights and activation layer. Okay, now I am going to flatten the thing here. Okay, now this thing is flattened. So once this layer is created successfully, then we need to create another layer, dense layer, with the initialization weight WD1 and bias BD1, and this is how we are creating another layer, and we are also putting a ReLU layer across this dense layer. So activation function is here ReLU. Okay, this way we will create another layer, dense layer 1. So here what happens, so 7 cross 7 cross 64 dimensional vector fully connected to a 1000 dimensional vector. Okay, so 7 cross 7 cross 7, 7 cross 7 cross 7, 7 7 cross 7 cross 64. Okay, so how much? So 3136. So 3136 dimensional vector fully connected to another vector which is having 1000. Okay, now the output become 1000. So total how many weight required? This amount into this amount. So total this amount of weight required for initialization. Similarly, so if the output of this layer is 1000, so total bias required is 1000. So let's create another dense layer after this, which will take this 1000 dimensional output of the first dense layer and connect it to a 10 dimensional layer. Okay, so in this way we are creating the weight for 1000 vector to 10 vector. That means how many weight are required here? 1000 into 10, so 10,000 total weights are required. and though the output of this layer is 10, so total bias required is 10. In this way I am creating another dense layer after this first dense layer, and from this dense layer 2 I am going to taking the output y. So y means it will just the softmax output of this dense layer 2. So we are passing the softmax to dense layer 2, and the remaining output is put it as y underscore. Okay, so next this is your y predicted. So to symbolize it, it is y underscore. Now let's decide the optimizer and cross entropy. So here we are taking the cross entropy logits. This is the cross entropy value, and optimizer is we are taking the Adam optimizer with learning rate is learning rate. Learning rate means what is our learning rate? 0.0001. And what is our it's optimize? It will optimize the cross entropy value. That means our loss value. So in this way, we're gonna do the cross entropy and optimizer part. Now we need to find out the accuracy. So for that, the correct when it will be correct prediction when the TF argmax of y become the TF argmax of y predicted, then it will become equal. Then only it is a correct prediction. If it is the argmax of y and y predicted is different, then it will be wrong prediction. So number of correct prediction over the total number of data set, that will give us the accuracy. So it will give them it will give it a mean. Suppose 5 prediction is corrected over 10. So total, so what is the mean? 5 by 10. So this will give me 0.5 accuracy. So in this way we will get the accuracy value. Let's start to set the initialization global variable initializer. This is must to proceed in TensorFlow. Now we need to store the recording value. This now do the setup of to storing the recording or our accuracy, all those things in a particular folder in our drive. So to do that, I am going to tm color accuracy. So accuracy value must be stored as a accuracy, and this will merge all and write. So this will put it the value is stored in our, so better stored in inside our current directory. Okay, current directory. Now I should line of code. So to start the TensorFlow session, we need to run initial operator, that means our initialization global parameter, and we need to start our session. So we have only took 2 epoch here. Let's take one epoch, otherwise it will take more time. So I am here taking epoch value, I am changing it to one means, so only one time it will run. Okay, only one. So I am 1. So it will run. So total batch, it will take total batch, how many total batch is possible, by dividing by the total data points by the batch size. So it will give me the total batch. So this inner for loop will run over this total batch size, and for each batch the train having some method as to next batch, it will automatically take the next batch if it is available. Then we are passing the optimizer and the loss cross entropy, and this is the way we need to feed the placeholder. We have already covered in this thing in our placeholder class, and the average cost is decided. Once the one batch is iterated over, then we're going to find the test accuracy, all those things, and this is summary. So after completion it will print the training model, and after that we will write the graph inside our directory, and then it will print the accuracy and accuracy for test by comparing the predicted value and the actual label. Okay, this will actually take a lot of time. So actually it will take a lot of time. Let's increase the batch size, okay, so that it will complete easily. Okay, increase the batch size here. What is the batch size? Batch size, yes, batch size. Let the batch size is I'm making it is 5,000. So that means total 11 batch is possible. 55,000 divided by 5,000, so total 11 batch. Okay, so now it will take very less time. Okay, so now run this thing. Obviously it will take very less time. Just wait for a minute. Okay, and now it is now it is completed. So our training complete, and what are the result? Total so accuracy is very poor, 0.101. Anyhow, we are not going to improve accuracy here, because we are only doing it for a make you so that how the things are actually working. So if you want to increase the accuracy, then we can increase the epoch size to somehow 10, and then batch size somehow 50 to 60 or 120 around, but we are making the batch size is 5,000. So here actually we made a mistake here. Here you also need to put the batch size 5,000. So only. So anyhow, it is okay, no problem. Okay, so we executed by using this. It will give me some different accuracy. So anyhow, it is completed. Again, I am saying it is very poor because saying this. So thank you.